Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, yesterday addressed the nation after the anti-finance bill protesters, the Gen Zs, stormed parliament and occupied parliament. In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis about the statement by the president because it has caused serious political storm in the Republic of Kenya. But first of all, let me tell you some other developments which are currently taking place in the Republic of Kenya. Number one, I've been informed from reliable sources that William Ruto is actually planning to withdraw the bill. The pressure is just too much. He's going to decline to sign the bill, and therefore he's going to send it back to Parliament. And then Parliament will then withdraw the bill. And I'm asking myself, what was so difficult in doing that yesterday? Because William Ruto and UDA leaders had the opportunity to save the country. Maybe they wanted to test the rage of Kenyans and they got it. But it is sad that they could not do that yesterday.
And you know, you can't advise our president. In fact, our president is the one who advises his advisors on how to advise him. Okay? So, what is happening in Bunge? Which also has parliamentarians who are also advising the president, is that they've put a blind eye. The other day we were treated to a PR exercise in State House, right? Where all these issues were captured during public participation, where during that process people expressed their views, but they didn't want to listen. Then they take the bill, they take it to State House, they amend it in State House, instead of the bill being amended in Parliament, right? So that tells you that Parliament is deeply captured. Parliament is not independent. It is dependent on the executive, right? And then there's a strategy called decoy strategy or maneuver strategy that the state was using. The maneuver strategy states that bring all the bigger challenges that we will reject later on, bring them to Kenyans, and at the same time, bring the one that you want to pass, chini ya maji, iweke somewhere else, then tell Kenyans that, you know, bread will increase, pampers will increase, sanitary towels will increase, 2.5% tax on motor vehicles. You cause chaos all of a sudden and become so chaotic. Then you solve that same problem by saying, you know what, we've had you, we've dropped them. The problem is not that alone. The problem is the whole bill. They shall have passed theirs. And the inclusion of that is the tax imposed on the imported goods, which is going to be a bigger challenge for Kenyans.
Number two, Parliament today, in record 30 minutes, made Kenya a military state. I'm going to do that analysis later because they passed some motion which will allow the president to deploy the military to help the police in dealing with Kenyans. And lastly, Rigathi Gachagua was missing yesterday when the president was issuing this statement. And the question is, where was Rigathi Gachagua? What is he running away from? Is he one of the people being accused? Again, that is another analysis which is coming up. But for now, let us focus on the statement by William Ruto. Let me ask you, what was your opinion when William Ruto addressed the country? Or what was your expectation when State House announced that the president was going to address the nation at 9 p.m.? Just like right now, I'm just seeing some notification that the president will address the nation again at 4. So what was your expectation? For me, my expectation was so high, but I was really disappointed. And my conclusion after listening to the president yesterday is that William Ruto is yet to understand where the problem is. William Ruto is dealing with Gen Zs. These Gen Zs, they have the support of their parents. They have the support of the church to go to the streets. These are the people William Ruto is dealing with. Some of them are on the streets with their sisters, brothers, and even their parents. So William Ruto is not understanding these guys. But let us focus on that particular statement. Allow me to begin with the tone of that statement. The tone of the statement was clearly angry. The truth is, William Ruto did not even greet Kenyans. He went straight to reading the points. And you could see when he was coming to address Kenyans. And of course, when he was also leaving, you could see a man who is angry and bitter. William Ruto appeared subdued, but at the same time, he was still chest thumping. So the tone was actually an angry tone. What Kenyans expected was probably an assuring tone, a fatherly tone, because you remember, William Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya. Regardless, he should have appeared as a fatherly figure.
Today, Kenya experienced an unprecedented attack on its democracy, rule of law, and the integrity of its constitutional institutions. An otherwise legitimate expression of the fundamental rights and freedoms of assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals.
Number two, majority of Kenyans also expected William Ruto to make reference in his speech to the finance bill. Clearly, William Ruto never did that. William Ruto focused on lecturing the alleged criminals who organized and were still planning other demonstrations.
Most regrettably, today's attack on Kenya's constitutional order has resulted in the loss of lives, also destruction of property and desecration of institutions and emblems of our sovereignty. Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. I assure the nation that the government has mobilized all resources at the nation's disposal to ensure that a situation of this nature will not recur again.
Ruto, why are you killing?
That the people of Kenya are supreme. It is the people who hire and fire governments, and we will prove them on Tuesday that it is the people of Kenya who will make the decision to take Kenya forward. The choice is as clear as day is from night.
And that's why I still maintain that William Ruto is clearly out of touch with the reality on the ground. These youths are determined, and these youths, William Ruto will have to do something about them. And if I were to offer William Ruto my unsolicited advice, there's a solution which can help these youths. William Ruto should go and figure out who are normally the beneficiaries of the 30% procurement which were reserved for the youth, women, and persons with disability. Because, you know, government is the biggest spender. And if that 30% is going to a few individuals who also have connections, probably their kids, then William Ruto should figure out how he can make those procurement opportunities available to these young people. These young people here, they are very productive. They are educated. So just my advice, William Ruto can focus on how, because that 30% procurement law, I think it was under Kibaki government. Yeah. So if it's well implemented, majority of these youths will have money in their pockets from the county level up to the national level. If you give tenders for roads, allocate 30% for young people and ensure they are well distributed. Because what's happening today is that those tenders goes to the big guys. Then they register companies using their kids' name, things like those. And that's the biggest problem we have as a country. The third thing, which I found to be very interesting, was William Ruto talking of some people hijacking this demonstration.
However, our national conversation on any subject matter must be conducted in a manner that respects and honors the foundational values upon which our nation is established, namely constitutionalism, the rule of law, and respect for institutions. It is very painful for Kenya that a conversation this crucial was hijacked by dangerous people who have caused us the kind of loss we have incurred as a nation today. It is possible that the criminals who rained terror on innocent people and attempted to challenge our law enforcement deployments are still determined to continue with their dangerous behavior.
Mr. President, if you were to take your time and review the clips, even those in parliament, those are very young people. One of the people who lost his life is a student, a very bright guy.
So finally identity ya ule jamaa alishutiwa outside parliament, ule alikuwa amefunikwa na flag imejulikana, anaitwa David Shege. Ali graduate from JKUAT with a maths and computer science degree, and he was a freelance IT professional. Another person who was shot outside parliament has been identified, guys. This is Eric Shieni, who was supposed to graduate from the UN in September with a business administration degree. He had just finished doing his CPA 6. He was living in South Bay with his brother. And
Ruto, why are you killing our children? Kwa nini unaua watoto wetu, Ruto? This is a massacre for our children. You have decided to kill our children. You will also die one day. Our prayer, we were not voting for you to come and finish us. Umetumaliza na njia zote, Ruto. Umetumaliza kibiashara. Umetumaliza na kila kitu. Watoto wetu hawasomi. Tunakuja hapa hospitali. NHF umetumalizia. Hatujui unataka kutupeleka wapi, Ruto. But one thing I would tell you, I will address you as Ruto. Wachana na watoto wetu.
If you check those who died, especially those who died in parliament, I think they must have been around 8 or something. None of them can be claimed to have been sent there. They're people with genuine concerns. So if I were Ruto, I'd figure out why these guys are demonstrating. I'd not talk about someone hijacking the demonstrations. These were just young men who are tired with the way the country was going. I want you to listen to this guy, this young guy here, and just see the determination in him.
Guys, I've received a threatening message from the county government of Uasin Gishu. I talked what I had to talk, and that was the truth, and the facts remain stipulated. I'm born and brought up in Uasin Gishu County, and Eldoret is my business, and I'm an Eldorian. Okay? I don't trade my authenticity for approval. Alright? Now no one should greenlight my idea. I said what I say, and the facts remain stipulated. You see what? Even great people doesn't live for a very long time. Jesus Christ lived for 33 years. I'm 26. I'm turning 27 this November. I don't give a damn. I don't have kids. I don't have anyone. I have just family members only. If you want to kill me, do what you gotta do. But you know what? Even after you've killed me, there's another Hiram Kenya will come on. Not 20 years after or 15 years after. There'll be someone who will talk and fight impunity as I did. I don't trade my authenticity for approval. And I told you guys what you did is that you took us to school, and that's where you fucked up. Because education is a very powerful equalizer. God damn it. God, do what you wanna do. Don't send me messages on WhatsApp. I don't trade my authenticity for approval, and no one should greenlight my idea. Do what you gotta do. I've seen everything I needed to see in this world, and there's nothing more I need to see.
No, that's the spirit of these guys. I saw and I witnessed a lady being pushed into those police vehicles. She just had her phone. They find the police saying she's not getting in there. Several other people. Some even persuaded the police, and they had to leave them because they were explaining to them what's really happening. Nobody really caught criminals. And in case there were criminals, they were government operatives who hijacked it. And of course, William Ruto also referred to some dangerous criminals. Now, that is what has annoyed majority of Gen Zs. They are really annoyed that William Ruto, the president, is referring to them as dangerous criminals. You see, sometimes when the king is naked, it takes someone to tell him. And I hope William Ruto will get someone within his team to tell him. Not the likes of Osoro, not the likes of Wetangula. I remember, I've been in politics, and I've been talking to some, over this time, some people have been giving me political tips. There's a story of a man called Job Omino. Job Omino is the one who made Raila who Raila is. He would defy Raila Odinga. He would tell Raila Odinga, don't do this. And Raila Odinga would not do that. He's the guy who told Raila Odinga, if you want to succeed in politics, you must join government. And that's how he led Raila Odinga to government. Then there was Otieno Kajwang. Otieno Kajwang was told the story of Otieno Kajwang by one man called Ken Obura. Ken Obura once narrated to me how them, as people who are very close to Raila, they would spend time with Raila Odinga, the others would spend time with Raila Odinga. Otieno Kajwang never used to spend his time with Raila Odinga the way these guys would do. But whenever Otieno Kajwang would spend even 10 minutes with Raila Odinga, everything will change. So William Ruto needs someone like that. Not Osoro, not Zahir Sanzanda, not all these other choir members. That's why William Ruto needs a stable hand around him. I was talking to someone, and he told me the reason why Raila Odinga did not really focus on winning the presidency in the last election was because Raila Odinga did not surround himself with someone stable enough, someone who would be able to monitor things, someone who had experience in government. For example, William Ruto had Rigathi Gachagua, a man who's been in government. The guy was telling me if Raila Odinga had someone like, say, Dalmas Otieno on his side fully, or someone like Sally Kosgei on his side, people who have been in government, probably things would have changed. So for William Ruto, you are the president, you won the presidency, but the country is rejecting you. I don't know what you are going to do to win their support back. And William Ruto also made reference to constitutional values. You see, this is where William Ruto is making the mistake. For these young people to come out, it means there's something wrong. The only thing which needed to have happened was someone to listen to them. Nobody was planning to listen to them. And let me explain to you guys why. These guys are on internet. They're raising some objection against the bill. But William Ruto's advisor, David Lee, tells them that, they're just online wankies. Kimani Ichung'wah goes and calls them what? Yeah? So they wanted to prove a point that, okay, you think we are just that. Even me, I was actually surprised by these Gen Zs. Some of these people are very intelligent. At some point during the last election, most people thought that when Raila Odinga will exit political scene, William Ruto was going to have an easy way out because nobody was going to mobilize. Now, we have youths here who don't need anybody to mobilize. They just need things to be done the right way. So for me, that was also an unfortunate statement. And lastly, I know William Ruto has deployed the KDF, which is good and which is bad. And the problem with me, the problem I have is that if you go to Naivasha, they burnt down the MP's office. You go to Embu, the governor's office. You go to Kikuyu, Kimani Ichung'wah's office. You go to Nyeri, Kieni, the member of parliament's office. Across the country, I'm told there are several other places. Even the chair of the finance committee, his house was burned. If you release the army to deal with them, it will have a huge impact on the way those guys will be perceiving William Ruto, because most of those guys really voted for William Ruto, like the incident which took place in Githurai yesterday. Shameful. Yeah? Now you release the army to them. They won't spare William Ruto when it comes to the ballot. And that's why I still insist that William Ruto will be going home in 2027. But it's not because of anything. The Gen Zs are the one who will send him home. I don't know what you think, but that's my take on that particular statement. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.